night.
Are you kidding me?
So
That's crazy. That's really weird because she saw it for the first time.
So,
That's all we're talking about.
Oh, I love it.
all right, this is made by the official beekeeper of the NYPD.
There's an official beekeeper.
Yes, there is.
Oh.
So you guys get to choose. I brought one of each. This is
You are the sweetest.
choose vodka. You guys decide.
Well, I am all about Blue Lives Matter, but she wants to defund the police. So can I have both of them?
You get both.
All right.
Guys.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, back not 2 weeks later, just in time for me to be off quarantine after I may or may not have given them COVID to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, we were sharing cocktails. Nancy.
I drank
didn't
out
manage
of
to
your
forget
cup.
You did indeed. You did indeed.
Yes. Remember he ordered that weird
Yes.
whiskey. No, you ordered the crazy girl whiskey drink with the pink and the.
Redundant.
Offensive.
No, but yeah, we were all we were eating food.
Yeah.
I felt very guilty.
Matt, I'm liking the beard.
In it?
We were just talking about manicured beards, especially in
and-
Die Hard.
This is official Bill Schulz COVID beard. Because I haven't shaved since you tried to give us both COVID.
Oh, I don't like the tried part. That makes me look like a sociopath.
We did each. We each got
That looks good.
tested and negative. So I guess your COVID spermage is not that strong.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, it was certainly an empty restaurant, so it wasn't anyone else there. But yeah, boy, I felt very guilty
I still
about
think
that.
I know where you got it.
Where the?
I think it was the Friars Club.
But I was there the night. I think almost it might have been 2 nights before I was hanging out with them.
Exactly.
But I didn't give it to them, and we shared food, and I sat right next to them.
They're superior humans.
Tall ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't like the way the
Hi,
show's been
guys.
going. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Rommelmann. She is the head of Paloma Media, where all your fine Paloma products are seen, watched, and oh, by the way, we're going to have Yale on tomorrow as far as your podcast from Paloma, Ask a Jew is concerned.
Oh, great.
Really?
Unfortunately, she's feeling under the weather. I was never near her, so you can't blame me.
No, she was, but
She's a little worried.
She just has a cold. It's just a cold.
I think
yeah.
I think you might
She
be.
will be Skyping in.
No, I think we should
in here.
put a pin on the
Warrant
whole
out.
Skype thing. Mike, and of course Matt Welch, guys, at a larger reason. One of 3 that helm the Fifth Column podcast. One of my faves, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, back to manicured beards and all things Christmas movies. She saw Die Hard for the first time.
First
last
time.
night.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw it, so for me and I think you, it was the second time.
The second time. I saw it when it came out.
So I've never seen it since.
Oh my God! Oh
Die
wow!
Hard is a Christmas movie discourse.
Okay, well then will be the answer to 2 questions that I always have with stuff like this that you grow up and you love, and I've seen it every year. I wanted to know if she would like it, seeing it through 2021 eyes for starters, and I'm also interested as to whether or not you thought it held up since you have not seen it for so long.
So where were we on this? And so we just came in. So
I believe it is a Christmas movie.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Self-evident.
Yeah.
And I love the romance between the 2 cops. I
Especially
love
at
that.
the end, you want
Buddy
them to go
plus.
slow mo and just.
But I also love it because you think it's really going to be about him and his wife, and it kind of is, but I think the more heartwarming story is between the 2 men. That's why I loved that. I love that the hero is smoking.
Oh yeah, big time.
and,
A lot
and
of
he's
smoking.
checking out a lot of ass.
And how about the gratuitous titties every 20
That's
minutes?
just 80s film.
That is
Whatever
a
they can
wonderful
put.
80s trope.
Best one, the calendar was great, but the best one is at the very end when his wife is being held hostage and she's against the wall, and now for the first time her shirt and this gigantic. It's like just because,
Yep.
because we haven't had titties in 15 minutes, and so
Ding, 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 ding. What part of Christmas movie are you not getting?
But can someone explain to me why the movie is called Die Hard?
It's really hard to kill him. Hard to kill Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Hard to kill a New York cop. New
So,
York's finest.
Hard
to bring
to
down.
die was too many words.
Die Hard.
Die Hardly should it have been an adverb?
No, you got it. It's a
overthinking.
single syllable thing. Dunk, dunk.
Yes, a lot of that in the 80s too.
That's right.
They didn't mess around too many words in the
Man.
title.
Bill Schulz.
Bill
Ouch.
Schulz,
Thank you for
Matt
the
Welch.
comparison.
I'm sorry. I'm a Joanne NoSuchinsky, so I'd like a few more
That
syllables.
is quite literally why she does not have a middle name right there. All those syllables you just heard. It's
You know what
too
they
much.
did? So, I mean, it's sort of the gold standard. It's like when you make a movie and you're just gonna hit them with the action, with the music, with the da 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 da.
Oh, yeah.
Da, da, da. It's just like it was perfect.
It's the perfect movie. It really is. I don't care. I've seen it at least 30 times. Whenever it's on, I'm watching.
Can't get over that's Alan Rickman's first movie.
First movie ever.
He looks so young. That was the first thing I thought when watching it. I was
He's
like,
42.
Bruce Willis
Really?
looks young,
Yes.
but I'd seen him young before. But I don't know that I had seen, and now knowing it was his first, that makes sense why I wouldn't have seen him.
And we get
Younger.
because more screen time.
Oh, sorry, man. That's to remind me to not lean back because no one can hear me in the microphone.
Okay.
That's funny. He had as much like dialogue as anybody in the movie, with the exception of Bruce Willis. And we get the full Alan Rickman. We see everything he's going to do for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Just
Without a doubt.
enunciation,
Yes.
the words, and like the not moving the lips at the right times. It's fantastic.
He also does something I've never actually seen anyone, maybe in real life or definitely the movies, do. He's got this like way that he's kind of smiling, but it's not a smile. It's very unusual. It's almost like it would make me catch my breath whenever he did it.
It's a very
Like
tired
in a
smile. He's like,
sexy
doesn't
way
like
or a
suffering fools.
scary
Yeah,
way?
it's like
Sexy.
he's smiling because but it's fueled by this sort of, he's laughing at you, but there's also terror in it. It's just
Yeah, it's
really
like a
good. I don't know what it
menacing-
was. It's really good.
Well, yeah, his first time there, and there's I went through a lot of YouTube wormholes last night just because you told me you were watching it, and there's a big thing about all of his acting choices in the movie, and one thing that I certainly never noticed was that he touches everything. So even if it's like that giant model of Nakatomi and what it's going to be and all that stuff, to show that he wants it, it's his ownership, and that he is in
Interesting.
charge. And everything, he glides his hands over everything, and
That's
there's
interesting.
all these choices that he made that obviously weren't in the
try
script.
that. I'm gonna
I mean,
doing that.
I mean,
there
you've
is
already claimed
do.
that Loris.
yeah, I was gonna say it is basically they call it the Loris in what is it, Stravinsky acting schools or whatever it's called.
is it?
Yes, yeah.
Stroking of the
Loris
Loris.
maneuver.
Yeah, thank you.
The
Yes.
Loris maneuver. Hey Matt, do you want to tell them why the movie was extra special for you yesterday? Were you under the influence of anything?
That's true. I'd had an epidural in my neck.
Oh, you were mentioning that. Yes.
Yeah, so I'd spent most of the day
For funsies or why?
some protruding discs in my cervical spine.
Sounds awful.
Didn't you have some issue with your brain too, or your
A
head?
couple of years ago. Listen,
Just have like a
How
lot
are you
of.
still alive?
it's unclear. Because I've chosen to live better than Bill Schulz at some points.
Fair.
I'd be dead. If I actually kept to your schedule,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work. Like this is all breaking down so fast that like you
Anyway,
gotta-
we had a choice yesterday. We were going to watch something like kind of like heavy and romantic with subtitles or Die Hard. So
Oh.
we
Yeah,
it
come
was-
on. Particularly when you're under the influence of an epidural.
Yeah.
I don't know if subtitles are.
And you're like, this is nothing. He's walking on broken glass.
That's speaking of age and watching this, and maybe that your arc of consuming this every year can change, because all I'm thinking about, he's fighting the second brother in the murderer's fight that ends up
Carl?
Carl, who ends up, and I love just the villains and the hair and
Yeah.
the Euro
so
stuff.
Aryan.
So wonderful, and the German, and then suddenly at the end they're speaking French. Out of nowhere, like why not?
No one's
The
gonna
last one
recognize- nobody
standing, or,
knows, yeah.
But so they're in that fight, and he's got the feet and the broken glass and the gashing, and they're fighting a lot. And it's been a long day.
Yeah.
And Carl's like, now I'm going to do the jump kick.
That's what he says. He's like, would he really make that do that?
Dude,
kick
you
at
guys are
this point in
tired.
the fight?
You are tired. Like Bruce can barely walk. How is he fighting? He can't have any core and leg strength at this point.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
Well, and Joe was saying that before you guys got here that she liked it much more than these CGI heavy movies these days. But a lot of it is just because the heroes back then were not fallible, but they were very much they would be injured. And you were rooting for them because you weren't really sure how bad. I mean, they very much they weren't a video game, you know. And
that was the lesson that was learned by Raiders of the Lost Ark. Why is that such an always charming movie? Well, there's 1,000 reasons, but one of them is like the where does it hurt, kissing thing in the boat.
Yes.
It hurts everywhere. He's kind of older and decrepit. She's kind of laughing at him, and like everyone likes that. Who doesn't like that? The girl likes it because they want to be there, mad that he can't get it up on the boat. And the boys like it because they want to be kissed by the hot what's-her-face.
Yes.
And also they can identify with being tired because that shit's tiring. You're not like a perfect superhero.
You got one of the greatest lines in movie history with the first one saying it's not the years, it's the mileage.
Yeah.
And then you flash forward to when he's 70 and doing the abomination that is Crystal Skulls, and he's Superman. Not a bruise on him, gets in the refrigerator, survives a nuclear fallout, all that noise. It's you think they would have learned.
I would like to, since you guys are all failed Catholics, and I am a non-Catholic who attends Catholic Church, I want to put to rest at long last. I was shocked watching it how much it obviously is a Christmas movie. I was figuring that since the discourse, and this has been a dumb kind of meme and argument on Twitter for 10 years, but like I would presume that like there was something ridiculous about the claim that it was a Christmas movie. When it's Christmas throughout, it ends with a Christmas song. There's all this, but more importantly, it's about the sacramental or the advential sacrament of reconciliation. That is the whole theme of the movie. It's the marriage is reconciled, yes, but also what is the money shot of the reconciliation? It's of the actual romance of the movie, which is the dudes.
Yes.
And he finally, instead of like being haunted by shooting the unarmed 13-year-old kid, he absolves and reconciles to his life of violent police work by killing the motherfucker.
Also, especially watching it now in today's climate, as soon as he told that story over the thing, I was like, it had to be a black cop. They had to have cast.
Yeah, but they weren't even thinking that back then.
Exactly, no. But watching it now, you're like, it would be way cringier.
Oh, you couldn't do
if
it.
it was a white cop.
You couldn't do it. I was also wondering, crashing planes into buildings. I'm not sure how often
deliberately setting off a bomb in a building as a good guy move.
You're going to do that.
Yeah.
I want to mention something about the lack of CGI. I was thinking the same thing. There really was no CGI in that, right? And the part that I found myself laughing uncontrollably because it was so exciting was when the body lands on the cop's car and he's backing up the car. I couldn't say it was like so terrifying, intense because you realize this car actually is going at speed off a cliff.
It is so
it was
jarring.
exciting. I was like, ah!
Yeah, it is so jarring. Oh, yeah. Well, and also, it's been said a million times before, and also, like, maybe just acting, but famously they convinced Alan Rickman to do the stunt where he falls at the end.
Oh, what a shot.
Great shot. But to get the best reaction out of him as possible, they said they were going to let him go on 3. And of course, let him go on 1.
Oh, awesome.
It's
a great shot. I mean, even though there's like a little bit, it's like a little fakey. It's fine. It's like this is fine. This is
he's
this is a
fallen
movie,
a long way.
right?
You can tell.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
To let him go, they have to get rid of the Rolex.
Oh yeah.
I have a falling story. So years ago, I lived in LA. It's with my brother. We were down by Barney's Beanery. This bar down in, and there's this big building right next to Barney's Beanery, and there were production trucks, and they had a big giant airbag. Oh, what was it? It was when Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon jumps off the building. And we didn't know that particularly. We kind of find that out anyway. We watched the stunt. Like we watched the stuntman do it.
Are you serious?
We watched the stuntman do it, and then we watched Mel Gibson. We were there like an hour and a half. We had nothing else to do. We were,
that is
20.
crazy.
We watched Mel Gibson do the take where he like they're filming him getting out of it. So he comes out, and my brother goes, "Hey, how'd that feel?" He goes, "Didn't feel like anything."
That is unbelievable. Well, and again,
Didn't feel like anything.
There's dorky online debates about what is more of a Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon or Die Hard.
Well, I have to see. I don't actually think I've seen Lethal Weapon since I saw it the first time. So I don't know, dude. The next epidural, we'll do it because he couldn't. They wouldn't let him leave by himself.
So how are you? How long does it last? How does it feel now? Like
it's so strange. Like the doctor had told me, and I'm sorry, I'm talking about old man stuff here, but the doctor had told me we're going to knock you out definitively for 3 minutes. And in those 3 minutes, I'm going to jab you with Novocaine here. And then this is like the IV is a little bruising. IV here in here to knock me out. Novocaine here to make sure that I don't feel the needle in my spine. I should have brought you the pictures. Then he puts the needle in my spine to put in the maybe calm down, Mr. Spine and Back and Nerves drugs, and then disperse the leaked fluid that had come out of my discs. There, which makes things a little bit cringy inside. And then you wake up 3 minutes later, like, wait, did you guys knock me out? And they're like, yeah, we'd had surgery on you already.
No.
Unbelievable.
So weird. But then, it was a bit woozy.
Yeah, they told him the day before, he's like, yeah, Nancy, they told me, they're going to do it. And I'm going to wake up and feel like I've slept for 8 hours. I'm like, I had an epidural. And that's not how that goes. So I get him out and we get him in a cab and we get to my house and he gets out of the cab. I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just perfect.
Oh, man. And so are you still like under the influence of it? Like, I don't know how.
No, I spent basically all afternoon, morning crashing at Shea Paloma Studios.
Yep.
And
Very
then
sweet
waking
of
up after munching on Nancy's biscuits, which
That sounds like a euphemism.
you didn't bring the biscuits. I saw you.
didn't.
It's
You
just
know why?
because you said munching on
The
her
reason I
biscuit.
didn't bring the biscuits is that it's like, do I want to bring them like day-old biscuits? I didn't think that sounded
Oh, she's
so
a beggar,
terrific.
not a chooser.
Listen,
She must say,
I willingly eat Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits days after I went to the restaurant.
I brought them honey instead.
This is very sweet. I can't
You know what
thank
goes
you
great with
enough.
honey? Biscuits.
I'll bring you some fresh ones next time.
But it's all over. I feel great, and even have less of the underlying problem.
And you said it wasn't an issue as far as just masking the pain. This actually does help.
Yeah, it is sending. It's not a painkiller per se. It's a relaxer as much as anything else. It's like telling your system to calm.
Because all I ever know about epidurals is just when they're used in labor.
You get a baby out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they needed
how it works.
the dispersal of the gross fluid is the most positive thing that they did in that.
That is good. Oh, God.
Let me tell you how strong an epidural is. So I was in labor a couple days. They're going to do C-section. They give me the epidural, and you really you stop feeling labor. Let me tell you, it's a big deal, right? They wheel me into the room. My daughter's dad comes in, and they put like these C-stands with a curtain in between you, and so you're lying there, and he comes and he's holding my hand, and I was like, I think they're gonna cut me open now. He's like, baby, you're open.
Oh, my God. And they
Didn't know.
take your intestines
They had literally
out.
cut me open and
you
put
didn't-
my intestines next
Yes.
to it, and
You
I
didn't
didn't
smell
know.
it because usually
I
they're
am
kind of a blowtorch
I am
situation.
very fragrant. No, I didn't. Nothing. I mean, I literally didn't know.
Is that
Yeah.
helping?
Yeah, that she's like,
It's just crazy to
No
me
poker face.
that women go through this and really don't share the horrors.
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't her. No,
No, but it
not.
is. And
Like take your
why?
intestines and put it on a
not.
towel.
Why don't
Yeah.
women
It's
share
fine.
this stuff? Or afterwards that you just like bleed and you have to wear a
Okay.
diaper for forever?
Well, I can tell you.
love that.
Would you like me to share? Since we're going to be talking about farts,
Oh,
why don't I
yes.
share a fart story?
Perfect.
It has to do with this.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a cesarean, and then they really won't let you eat until after you've passed gas. All right, I guess because air can get in your intestine or whatever. So, like the day after she's born, I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten in like 3 days, and I've had a
that's so
fucking
good.
baby.
And you just saw that
and they're
blood.
like, "Have you passed gas?" I'm like, "No, I don't know." Right, the next day, I still haven't eaten. Have you passed gas? I'm like,
Oh, no.
no, I mean, like, I don't think so, right? So it's now the night. It's Tuesday night. She was born on Sunday morning. Nurse comes in the evening. She goes, like, turn over. I turn on my side. She's like, she pops something in my butt, like a suppository. And she looks at me. She goes, you will pass gas. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm lying there. All of a sudden, I'm like, and like you're waddle into the bathroom, and it's small, so it reverberates. I had a 2-minute fart.
Unbelievable.
2 minutes with every fart sound
Call Guinness.
imaginable, an orchestra of farts, and I am laughing so freaking hard.
Did it harmonize with
It
itself?
was just because you have like 900 feet of gas in your intestines, which have now released. But then the best part, besides laughing hysterically, was that they fed me.
Oh, like a baby.
Brought
like-
me a cheeseburger.
Oh, but did they? Oh, I was. Did they?
They gave me the baby. No, the baby, she was asleep next
I mean,
to
did
me.
they
Let
feed
you eat
like
the
a
baby?
The baby. I had 2 babies, actually, but now I just
One's
have
for
the
eating,
one.
the other one's for raising.
One's for a snack. A snack baby.
I know there was a lot of protein in the umbilical cord. I didn't know the entire baby is
let's
good.
not talk. That is something that the people, what do they do now?
Oh, they'll
the
turn into
placenta.
pills.
I think your people are fucking high. Okay, you're not a cat.
Probably.
You're not supposed to eat your placenta.
Yeah, that's for the dog, actually.
That's right. That's
Feed it to the dog. I've seen that.
Oh,
actually.
sure, why not? But not the human.
Well, thank you once again for doing better segues than we ever will. I can't even find it in front of me, but it's pretty easy to summarize. And we have a video that'll explain it even more. 90-day fiancé lady. She has been supplementing her income because dudes are awesome. And like we'd like to give back if we're into stuff by basically OnlyFans stuff. She's got her used panties, that kind of thing. But more specifically, farts in a jar. And as a result, so that she can sell as many of these as possible, has an all and hardcore fiber diet to produce as many of these as possible. Or you could maybe just say you fart and then don't. So let's take a look here.
How longer do you think you're going to keep this up?
She's really cute.
Honestly, it has taken a little bit of a toll on my body because there was one day that I ate so many
like a
Fiber
cesarean.
One bars that I thought I was going to go to the emergency room. So I've had to kind of slow down, and I just have to listen to my body and make sure that I'm not like doing things that are bad for my bowels and my colon. So I will keep doing this as long as it remains lucrative and
Good for
something
you.
healthy for me, both emotionally and physically. I cannot do this every day. I feel like that'd be way too tolling on my body. I like to allocate like 1 to maybe 3 days a week where I'm doing this. And I do like drop shipments. So I'll announce when I will be doing them. And then I'll just do 2-3 days of just
farting.
pumping it out. And then I'll send it out and it'll be sold out.
Lucky
until the
guys.
next
Does the smell
release.
really
Since
stay in
that
the jar?
first drop of
Also, are there like
shipments,
different? There's like
I've
the
done
egg
another
fart, the pretzel
75
fart. Like, are they?
There must
Do you get to
be.
order like what it smells like?
There's no way from a science end, like I know what I'm talking about, where that it would stay in there.
I think it would.
I think
It would. I mean, you'd have to be pretty quick.
She has an example of how she has all these accoutrements. I think there's a second video here where she shows all the accoutrements that come with it. You don't just get the fart, people. That's the mistake a lot of you people make out
Today
there.
I'm going to be showing you a day in the life of a girl who sells her farts in a jar.
Thank you.
So I like to get things rolling
this. This
with
looks like
some
your
beans,
graphic.
a protein muffin, sometimes even a yogurt. Less sugar is better, some hard-boiled eggs. And today I decided I was going to make myself a protein shake with some yogurt added to it. And I was feeling it for sure. While I wait for those farts to develop, I like to read. I'm very smart.
While
love to
standing?
read.
Oh, no, she's
And then after I'm ready to go, I go ahead and, do my work, do my job. I don't need to show you that, guys, but I like to
Trade it.
add in little flower petals. I feel like they
Doesn't that
attach the
take away
scent
from the
and make
smell?
it last longer.
I see.
And when I'm finally finished with my jar, I like to leave a personalized note. I want to thank you so
Sweet.
much to the 97
Martha
people who
Stewart
already
of
purchased
Flatulent
their jar of
Jars
farts.
right there.
And as you know, they're on sale right now, 50% off with $1,000. So go to my Unfiltered and check it.
Discount farts.
Wait, I'm sorry, 50% off $1,000?
Yeah, she's made.
She's making $1,000 farts?
She's already banked about $100,000 from selling her jarred farts to fans.
Wait, who buys these?
You're sitting next to one, I think. I
mean,
might be interested as well.
I understand buying used panties. I get that. I mean, I
don't know if I get it.
that. I get that. I don't understand buying someone's fart.
Well, did you see again all the nice accoutrements that come with it? It's not just the fart. That's the mistake number one.
Joe's point, the rose petals.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
I think that's how the smell stays in the jar. It's because the smell follicles. I made that up.
The hair on the smell.
They
That's what you're saying.
adhere to the fabric, to the solid.
I don't think there's
you have an air on a solid, a gas on a solid.
And somehow the rose has more smelly emitters.
Well, why wouldn't you
So
just
if it
put like a
soaks
cotton
it, then
ball?
it's because,
Yes.
I see. It's an amplifier.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why wouldn't you put like a cotton ball?
I think you'd put a cotton ball.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a, smelly underpants. You need something to get the stench in there. So like the The flower.
Right, fabric.
You've been giving this a lot of thought, I've seen.
Smelly underpants.
I'm trying to quit bartending. So, I don't fart, but what if I burp in a jar?
I think less of a market. Less of a market.
don't fart
Let the market decide.
You don't fart at all?
Well, that's why I was having, sweats listening to your C-section story, because if I ever give birth and have a C-section, I don't know how to. That sounds awful. I can do it on a toilet.
Good for you.
And I can do it in my sleep.
Oh.
But I don't know what, muscles to use to push out a fart and not shit myself. That's what I don't understand. And my boyfriend always says that the asshole is very smart and it knows the difference between a solid, a liquid, and a gas. And I was like, I don't think my butthole knows the difference.
I knew you had a stupid butthole.
So I can't just push and be like, that's definitely gonna be gas.
Okay, I guess there's a whole different kind of world of fart. It's not like I really want to push out a fart now. It's like farts will have their way.
Oh, it's like Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. What do farts?
Yeah. I like that you said my boyfriend always says.
Always.
He would have to always say it.
He's
trying. The sweet poor
He
dear.
wants me to, because I'll be like,
Let
oh
it
man, I
go,
feel like I need to
honey.
fart. And he's like, do it.
Do it, baby, do it.
Push. I'm like,
Relax.
but I burp a lot. So that's, the
maybe.
gas finds
My daughter's
a
a
way.
burper.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, I always wonder when women wear really tight jeans if it sneaks out, if it travels all the way up to the top because they're so tight, I don't know.
Well, it would have to, right? It would have to be like.
Yeah. I mean, not to the point where I guess you could see it, but I don't know. These are just the fun things I think about. Maybe I'm more into that than fart jars.
Well,
That's
can we
my
just
thing.
raise a toast to late capitalism for allowing people to to match their skill sets with what the market wants out there? I think she just needs.
OnlyFans is a genius. They really are. God, they really.
I appreciate her integrity though, because she's really working hard. This is a job. She has to schedule around what she's eating. She says she can't do it every day because of her own physical health. There's steps, handwritten notes.
Yes.
I mean, not even all Etsy shops do that. You buy an ornament, you don't get a handwritten note.
I just not to get gross about farts.
Please do.
It's just that I'm worried about her knees as an old man who's had
Her knees.
Yeah, what are you squatting over a tiny jar?
No, she just.
Oh,
goes
yeah.
Like this. She just.
Or she's on a toilet and she's
Or
doing
just what? You don't even need a toilet. You just have to
All right, here's a question. I bet she's never going to admit this, but I know how sick and twisted all you fuckers are out there. I bet she's got a side business
that she pays.
She charges double, and the guys get her poop.
Ew!
Yes.
No. This is
Whatever
not
we saw for the
okay.
farts, double it and keep it to yourself because it's probably illegal to ship poo in the.
It's not. It's like In and Out. It's not on the menu. But
Yes.
you know how to order the animal fries.
I thought you were going to say she probably has a side deviled egg business. And so she
just puts the egg near the jar.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, I
You
see
just
what you're
leave a
saying.
hard-boiled
So
egg in the
she's
jar and then
cheating.
dump out the egg, and she's not really farting at all. It's all just smoke and mirrors.
She's very good with the expressions too. Like, "Ooh, here comes one." Like she knows what she's doing. I was very impressed. So is this a good for her?
This is a good for her, of course.
Yeah.
She's a real businesswoman.
She is a. There we are.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And here's how bad a business person we are. We've had that forever. Not one T-shirt available on the old website.
Yeah.
Just awful, lazy absence of marketing. Well, even they could do it. I guess Compound or something. But you know what? I'm an idea machine. They could take these things or not. And they're not. They're not taking them. Do we? Well, I've got to fuck Tom Hanks, but I guess that's more for me than anyone else. I do have a strange story about another woman that I don't know if you guys necessarily wanted to discuss, but it's a good video. And I know you like your TLC. You guys, Shauna Rae has developed a rare form of brain cancer. This is the sad part, but she's fine. When she was 6 months old and underwent chemotherapy that stunted her growth. She now stands as 3'10", average height of an 8-year-old girl, and looks as advertised. In her TLC documentary, I Am Shauna Rae, better title, you got to spell it out. I am 33, but look like I'm 8. 40, but that's the title.
Girl lady.
Yes. She reveals the difficulties associated with her youthful appearance, including finding it hard to date, you think? I think well, all right, we'll go to the tape first. And going to bars and everyone thinking she's a child. Let's take a look. And they are not kidding.
But the truth is, I'm not a little girl.
Oh, my God.
I'm a woman. A 22-year-old woman. Stuck in the body of an 8-year-old.
We can't have children at the bar.
I want to get a tattoo.
How old are you?
There is an age requirement.
I'm 22.
Shauna was 6 months old.
So there, you get
when we
the
found out
idea.
She had brain cancer.
My pituitary gland was ready
You're
to
not going to date a pedophile. Unfortunately, that is all that is in the cards for you.
True.
I disagree.
Look at her. This isn't a short woman. This is a woman that looks like she is 8.
I know, but listen, there are people, men included,
I don't know.
who are
Generous.
generous and human beings. And obviously it makes a good TLC show. And then she is going to probably attract some weirdos. But you know what? Just living your life. You could meet someone who just
We have a listener.
thinks you're interested and loves you.
We have a listener to the fifth column. 2 listeners, actually. It's a married couple who we met. Nancy's met as well. They came to the Miami Live show, and you hung out with
So
them.
then I met them then, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or no?
No, you might have.
You might
It's
have.
just whether you remember it is another story.
That's what
But it's a couple when you first meet them, and they're sweet as
Oh,
pie.
yes.
From they live in Birmingham, and
I hung out with him in Nashville even
hung
before
out
then.
in Nashville, and she's small. She's not quite that small, but she's small, and like you turn your head and go,
She's
happened?
very small.
and like that, and I don't know. I am like inquire about like how the journey to get there. But she's an adult, and she married this sweet guy, and they're both sweet, and he loves her, and that's it. Like it isn't. He doesn't have any kind of weird in his body. Just
Right,
out
but
as made.
again, she's small, but does she look like that?
Well,
Not totally like that, but she looks like
That's
hey,
her
that might
date.
be a girl.
See, I don't think she looks like an 8-year-old. I think she looks more
little
like
person.
Yeah,
a
look at that, look at that.
22-year-old little person, because there are 22-year-olds that I serve at the bar where I go, there's no way this person's 22. They look like they're 15. Some people just look young. So I think when she is 40, she's just going to look like, a little person.
Sometimes you see really, really small dudes. Like really small dudes that are like 4'10" or something, and that would probably be. I'm not.
And I believe that is technically
Reductive
anything
here,
under
but it would,
5 feet is by definition a little person, I believe.
Under 5 feet?
Yeah.
No, really? No.
Most 8-year-olds don't have those
that we don't
bags.
need.
Huh?
Most 8-year-olds don't have like the bags under her eyes. Like you could definitely see
Yeah.
it if you look at her
Yeah,
face
she's
closely.
getting some mileage.
Well, she's been drinking and partying. It's taken a toll.
Tattoos. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I would probably want to get tattoos or things that
Age you.
very visibly,
Sure.
signal that you're of age.
She certainly smokes. That'll help as far as the aging process is concerned.
Really?
Wow.
And also, she can use her brain. She talks to people, and she's a grown-up.
Yeah.
Still lives with the folks, though. I feel they might enable the child side of her, which obviously doesn't include the tattoos and the drinking and the smoking and whatnot, but everything else.
No, I think this TV show is like the fart selling is a ticket to get her out of mom's basement.
Lemons, lemonade. Well, you like your TLC. Is you going to put this on your list? You watch your 800-pound life. You love that.
I can't.
It's
I've
600
heard. I've
life.
heard of that, but I feel like the one story I remember reading
You can pay me.
many years ago was about this one guy. It was like in the LA Times or something, and he was like 800 pounds. And of course, his family had to bring him food because you can't move if you're 800 pounds.
Yes.
And like he basically terrorized his family. His poor mother was just like bringing him chickens, and it was just.
Well, if they're feeding him and he can't move, aren't they terrorizing him?
Well, no, a lot of them
They're demanding.
A lot of them are enabling or
Well, yeah.
feel sort of a guilt or a shame, so they just do whatever the person asks who's bedridden.
And these lives are. Let's not. It's. How do you clean yourself? You can't move. It's just what. So what? Tell me about this 600-pound life. I've heard about it, but I think I'm afraid to watch it.
Yes, you should be.
So really,
You're a normal person.
It is the journey of meeting the person where they are in their life, there's some impetus where they're like, I need to change. I need to get this surgery. So they go to Dr. Now, who is a surgeon in, I believe it's Dallas, Texas. Either they live close by or you see them make this journey from wherever they are in the country to get this surgery in order.
Journey part would be interesting.
They have to drive.
Ship them,
Yes.
you know?
They ship.
So
ship
and they go through that. It's like they have to get a big. They take the seats out of the back of the minivan and they put a mattress down and they take them. But of course, on the way they're getting the fast food and all the bad foods. And they go to Dr. Now and he's like, see, this is what's tough. You want to do Dr. Now's accent, but you're like,
Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
Do it.
Media.
You need to. He
Yeah,
just
paywall.
speaks. He's very tiny and like you have to stop what you're doing, this lifestyle, and you need to drop.
Half-assed.
You need to drop like 100 pounds before I can even do the surgery because I need to know that you're serious about this.
Wow.
Right.
And then some of them aren't. Some of them don't get there. Some do. They do the surgery. So it's kind of the show follows their journey. And good on these TLC people for like this is a commitment. Imagine being a PA on this show where like you just have to follow this person's life for a year because they want to show you the transformation within an hour. So it's like a year of footage. And sometimes the people die. Unfortunately, I spent,
on the show?
I spent 2 hours watching a special on this one guy who was like close to 1,000 pounds. And in the end of it, he dies. And I'm like, why did I just watch 2 hours
You have
of
no
this?
one to blame but yourself.
They die from not from the surgery, just from because they're
either complications afterwards or just
guys. You're 600 or 1,000 pounds. Your poor heart.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know what it's like? We were talking about like going out and playing basketball for a little while when you haven't played basketball and how exhausted you are. I mean, this person literally like getting up from a chair.
When I hustle up the subway steps to catch a train, because I have elevated tracks in Queens, I am huffing and puffing, and I work out, so I don't know how people do it.
No,
we don't.
Oh, there you go.
It's like when my 6-year-old's like, Daddy, why don't you run down the street when I'm running? He's like, because I'm 53.
Simple question, simple answer. Yeah, it's just winded walking over here.
Yeah, you really don't have to watch it. I really did sum it up for you. But I used to really enjoy, one of my favorite pastimes is watching it while just eating a whole box of Cheez-Its.
There you go.
Because I'm like, I can afford it.
Well, like,
I don't fart.
I can't imagine. I would think that would be a great thing to watch if you were on a diet or something. I would think you'd never want to eat anything ever again after.
Well, I am weird. I watch weird things and eat weird things. We know this about me.
That is true, and you're welcome for the 8-year-old, 33-year-old.
You know the Great British Baking Show, which we loved, which was so fun. The thing about that show is like by the middle of the episode, you're like, okay, you got to pause it so I can go get something to eat. And like I'll be downstairs like whipping something up, like something sweet so that we can eat it while watching it.
That's interesting. Not to bring it back to Die Hard, but I always can. Is I've always found that there are certain movies that, and I don't know if it's the way they're smoking or it's the amount, where it either the movie makes me want to have a cigarette so badly or I want to quit right there and then, and I won't have one for at least another half a day or something like that. And I'm not even sure what the difference is with the movie.
This one was Make You Wanna.
Die Hard made me want it, absolutely. Pulp Fiction makes me want to smoke. All right, a good example, Nicole, what is her name? Not Nicole Kidman. Whoever played Lois Lane in the original Superman, whenever she would smoke, it would disgust the fuck out of me.
Interesting.
And she'd be drinking her orange juice, freshly
what's her name?
squeezed,
The
and she
one
had the
that-
ashtray that was full of them.
Bananas, yeah.
On
When
her,
she died.
yeah.
Now, does
Margot Kidder.
Does this bother you? Because it bothers Douglas when he's watching films, because Douglas is a smoker, though he now keeps a pack in our car. So if he wants a cigarette, he has to walk to the car.
Smart.
But hopefully he doesn't smoke it in the car.
Not in the car. But he has to go to the car, so it's like not in the house. So he has to like put an effort in to smoke a cigarette. But
Makes you like it more, though. You've really earned it.
in movies, he's always like, that person's not a real smoker.
Oh, yeah.
That person.
I said that too.
Because he hates when people pick up a cigarette like this.
Yeah.
Like a joint when it's not a joint. And he's like, no, a real smoker wouldn't. Why are you smoking like
That's right.
that? And
Or like when
puffing
people
like
shoot
weird.
the gun like this, that the people are like anybody. It's just
Mad Men. I've never seen. I've
Mad Men-
barely ever seen it. When they smoke it, it disgusts me.
Well, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes you would not want to. Which part of it is you wanted to smoke watch Mad Men?
Well, I stopped smoking so long ago, I never wanted another one. So that never occurs to me. But Mad Men makes you want to drink.
Yes.
Makes on. It's like
want to wear pantyhose.
30. I think we
Get a
can
man
have
a
martini.
cocktail.
Have a secretary like that. Yes. All of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being able to get away with anything you want as far as having a
I
secretary.
want to be
like
talked
that.
down to because I'm a woman.
But also, picking out the talent among the women and rising them up and telling them to forget about their abortion. I mean, that's also
Sure, yeah.
Yes, that's the empowering part of Mad Men.
Mad Men is must see TV, to use the phrase, for anyone who's into management theory. It is all about management. It is so great, and the best moments in that whole thing, for the most part, except when the wife is shooting the gun off the porch, because that's pretty awesome, because she's just losing it.
See,
you got to watch it again.
Watch the whole.
I actually want to
haven't
watch
seen
the
it,
whole
barely
thing
seen
again.
it at all.
Yeah, I would watch the whole thing again.
Okay, so
I should
Okay.
do it. Yeah.
epidurals,
Let's all get epidurals.
Nancy's couch,
Yeah.
That sounds actually
big screen
probably
TV.
Awesome.
Maybe I could make some money. Right? Giving people
Jar for Joe's
epidurals and giving them muffins. I don't know if I'm not down on the farting part. Somebody else could do the farts, but
Well, that's where the money is at, as we've already established. We have. We're still doing TV. I got a Sex and the City thing for you for a while.
What's happening with that guy, with Chris Noth?
Well,
They did the depressing one yesterday.
He's like,
we covered it yesterday. 3 sexual assault allegations. Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon.
so they put a little
and
statement saying it's sad when this
Kristen
happens.
Davis came forward, to just say, we are
saddens
very
us.
sad to
We
hear
support
this.
women.
We support these women. It must be so hard for them to come forward. So good for them, kind of a thing. And then my whole argument was we have to stop it with the celebrity hero worship, because I think that's where a lot of these issues are coming in. A bunch of the quotes from these women have been, I couldn't believe that Big was doing this to me, or I couldn't believe that the hands that touched Carrie were now suddenly twisted in their mind the fantasy and the reality of who this person is. So it's like, stop it. He's a rich man who doesn't hear the word no a lot, so he's a fucking asshole. Like, are we surprised? It sounded like these people were surprised. Anyways, a New York City-based sex writer says that Carrie Bradshaw continues to fail women when it comes to sex.
This is interesting.
In the new show, and just like that, she is on a podcast. That's how they're bringing the show.
Oh, relevant for the 21st century.
And so a lot of sex comes up a lot on this podcast. And in the first episode, the point of topic was masturbation. And Carrie was asked if she ever masturbates, and she fumbles over it, saying, I'd like to buy a vowel, please. I'm uncomfortable. Then she goes home and asks...
It's a yes or no question.
Then she goes home and asks Mr. Big if he masturbated.
She asked her husband that.
Keep in mind they've been married for like 13 years. Then she asks him to masturbate for her, which it looks like he's going to do, but of course it doesn't.
This is in the movie?
In this TV show now on HBO. So this woman says, as a sex writer and someone with a pulse, I was shocked by the masturbation narrative in this first episode. It was not only awkward for Carrie, but it was awkward for the audience. For those of us who work in the sexual education industry, normalizing masturbation, especially female masturbation, has been something we've covered again and again. While women do it more at 92%, women aren't far behind at 76%. 55% of respondents in a 2018 study say that they never talk about masturbation. 47% wish people would discuss sex and sexuality more. So I guess she's just saying, as a sex writer, Carrie is really not doing women justice here.
I never understood how she was a sex writer to begin with. She, I thought, always came off as, what's her name? The one that's not on this one, Kim Cattrall. If anything, she should have been the sex writer.
Yeah. She was the
but
hot
the
one.
Carrie girl was always a big old prude.
Well, and that's the thing. She then goes on to say other things in the series that she was kind of a prude at. There's an episode where she's at a party. They're playing Spin the Bottle. It lands on a girl. And Carrie's like, oops, I have to go again. Then she kisses a girl and she goes, it was okay. Kind of tasted like chicken. Which is a weird line.
Kind of funny.
Boring.
There's the episode where she dates a politician who wants him to pee on her, and she's just really not into it and dumps him and writes about it. So basically, Carrie, but that's the thing. She isn't. She was more like me, who was very
But then you are not
talk
going to be
about
a
sex.
sex columnist.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
New York.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So
Dan Savage lives in Seattle, and he's been writing sex columns, and you know what? There's some masturbation involved sometimes.
Yeah, no kidding. And I would say I know we've gotten just weirder and more making fetishes normal than we did whenever this was on 20 years ago, whatever it is. But even back then, I don't think masturbation was a topic that was like verboten for an HBO R-rated TV show. And she'd be squeamish then as she is now. It makes how in the hell are you writing about something you know nothing about?
American Beauty was
Sex.
made 23 years ago or some god awful thing. It was terrible then, but it's just him jacking off in the showers, how that whole movie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, actually, yeah.
It is seen as kind of pathetic in its way, but you're not shocked by masturbation.
Yeah. I mean, I never understood anything about her character, or how she even did that. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's more and
Remains
more articles out now. Just like Carrie is the worst. She is
she's boring.
Yeah.
She's not interested in other people's lives, right? I mean, but of course it's a TV thing. Like we're supposed to be interested in her life, so she doesn't need to be interested actually in other people's sex lives. Give me the water, please.
My God.
I'm so sorry. Maybe I gave you a delayed yes.
I'm all in favor of, by the way, people not talking about their boring sex lives. I think that's totally.
I'm in favor of Carrie not talking about it.
I don't care who people sleep with. I don't care what your sexuality is. It's not that I'm like, I don't care. It's like, I don't care. Do it. Call yourself whatever you want. Sleep with who you want to. But do we have to build a podium that you can then stand there and shout about it?
Because
if you're attractive, yes.
But it makes us
I'm interested.
It makes us question why the person is bringing it up then to you. Do they want validation? Do they want to be told what they're doing is normal or okay? Do they want praise? Like, what is it?
They want identification and recognition, which I think it's like, I don't know, like, do we have to build a dais for you so you can stand up and say, I'm a heterosexual man? It's like, great, thanks, Bill, great. Next.
Thank you. All right, being sarcastic.
Right?
Yet to be
But
seen.
in terms of masturbation, I think we talked about this last time because basically we can't stop talking about jacking yourself off. I mean, can't it just kind of be private too?
Not for girls. It's cute when you guys.
So girls are also lying. If 76%, then you can make sure it's like 90%. But they don't want to.
I think it depends on.
Oh, I know.
I think it's a generational thing.
I would just point out that the new software that we use in the Fifth Column podcast, which you should listen
called
to,
masturbation.
That we just started using called Squadcast. When you just sort of sign up to do a session, right? Like, I'm here, Moynihan's here, Camille's there. It says, "What's your name?" What are your pronouns?
No, I know.
Of course.
So mine are, fuck you. Camille's is something to do with the N word. But what my daughter, who's 13, just had a COVID test on Friday because on Thursday she learned that one of her friends in her class tested positive. So she got tested on Friday and still hasn't got it back. So that's super exciting.
They aren't doing the 24-hour one thing?
No, because she wanted a PCR test instead of the rapid test. And everybody in New York got
backlog.
tested.
Everything's backlogged.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
But just to fill out the little application for the thing, it's like, what gender were you born with? And what gender do you identify with now? And it's like, how about the fuck you, she's 13 gender? That's an important one. Like, what does this have anything to do with testing someone's COVID?
If you identify as a man, you get your results first.
There we go. Yeah. Well.
And they're 20% better.
Yeah.
Actually, if you identify as an NFL player, you get your results first. Did you see that? There were a bunch of people in the NFL organization who got to skip a line for testing.
As they should.
Which I kind of get. They make a lot of money for everyone.
But I mean, that's been kind of true since the advent of COVID. And,
Yeah, NBA, that they had
Tom
that.
Hanks got his results probably faster than most people were getting them back in March 2020. I'm just trying to segue you as much as possible to anything you want to talk about there.
Oh, did you want to? Well, did I send you even guys the Tom Hanks thing?
You seemed mad about him.
What's the Tom Hanks thing?
See, that's the thing. I don't think they care. It's more
By
for
the
me
way,
than
we
anything.
are already 5 minutes over. That clock is very wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Well, we could do
But
one
we
more
can
story
do one
because
more.
we have our MVPs. All right. The guest choice, because I know there were several that you guys seem to appreciate. Which would you like to discuss?
Well,
Give us the seg.
Tom Hanks. I mean, well, yeah. What's the Tom Hanks one?
I want to hear about your Tom
Tom Hanks one isn't that great. Well, basically, he hates gay people.
What?
Yeah. It's the I believe it was 96, so that's an anniversary, I believe, of
Sort of 96, yes.
the famous Playtone's first movie that Tom Hanks started, and also this was his first directing thing, was That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
Basically, the story of the Wonders, play off the words one-hit wonders, and their one hit in the early 60s. And I don't know how I went down this wormhole, but basically, Tom Hanks was initially supposed to be gay. Also, wait for it, his boyfriend in the movie was none other than Hall of Famer Howie Long, speaking of the NFL.
Oh.
And for some reason, he's a homophobe. They chose to edit out that entire subplot, readily available online. Well, first, let's go to our opener.
Philadelphia.
Huh?
What about Philadelphia?
Yeah, but he dies. So I guess
Which
you
came
know what he
first,
wants happened to
Philadelphia
gays.
or this movie?
96
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to be
probably.
typecasted.
Won his gay cred already.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't know why you would want to be typecast. Let's go. Here we are. It took me so long to get all of my salient points on. But these are all valid points. There he is playing a member of the Ku Klux Klan. We all know Forrest Gump is awful, and there's the full retard scene there from Tropic Thunder. There we are. Joanne doesn't seem to be as much on board.
Well, it's because I have my Fuck Jennifer Lawrence one.
Ready to go. You're just
Yeah.
waiting for me to be done with my diatribe
so
that you can get into it. All right, so here it is. Here is what this homophobe, and here is just, I love everything about this. So here we go.
That's it. That's it. I'm off duty. I'm off duty. Are you happy? I can't just shirk these responsibilities, Lloyd. Uh-huh. Oh, no.
Big reveal.
Guy. You go upstairs, you go night-night, and you get some sleep.
Bring him along.
The debauched thing they were going to bring.
From Mr. Pouty to this, I
No,
don't
it looks
think so,
like
Guy. You won't remember much of this conversation, so check with the hotel operator in the morning. She has all the information. Lloyd, please, let's go before it gets too late. Bye-bye. Good night.
So that was in the movie.
Well, deleted.
Oh, it was deleted.
This is a deleted scene. Yeah, the entire thing. I think Howie Long was completely taken out of the movie, period. And there you go. So, just another reason, 1,522, why Tom Hanks is secretly America's greatest monster. But that's the great and horrible thing about YouTube. There is a million movies out there that had entire subplots that were completely deleted out that you can readily find online. And the next thing you know, it's Thursday, and you started on Monday. That's been
Next
a
thing you know,
lot of
you're
me.
out of quarantine.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure I could even find some Jennifer Lawrence
Should we
ones.
sing a Christmas carol?
Sure. I mean,
Does Tom Hanks put you in the spirit?
That was a little less Christmassy, but the other last one we had was they just did a list of the most iconic Christmas things from various movies. Number 1 was Ebenezer Scrooge. Kevin McAllister, number 2. I don't know about that. Home Alone. Buddy Elf is 3. Debatable. Grinch. John McClane is number 5. Any of the ones that you guys... Ghost of Christmas Present and Scrooged was one. I forget what Ghost of Christmas Present is.
I think that in many senses, especially for childhood of those of us of a certain age here, it's Rudolph's dad. Is that Donner? Which one was his dad?
Yeah, he was the
Comet.
coach for their flying
He
team.
wasn't the coach, but Comet was the coach. But Rudolph's dad, Donner, whatever his name is, Rudolph's dad is such an asshole.
Yeah,
I rewatched it with a 6-year-old the other night. Such an asshole. Like just immediately is embarrassing, trying to cover up the nose, being a dick about it, being embarrassed for him, and then as soon as he does anything good, it's like that's my boy. I always knew it.
Yes.
And then the nose comes off. He's embarrassed again. and then he's like also super like misogynistic. So he's like, I'll go out and find Rudolph. No, this is not work for women. And the girls go out anyways, putting themselves in danger. And then after all this happens and Rudolph has gone on the hero's journey, that's basically because of his dad more than anything else. Then Rudolph comes back and saves the day. And he's like, I always knew that my boy would be something great. And so it's perfect because he's a dick throughout, yet because it's a 1960s movie, that's not the whole thing. It's not like we're supposed to hate him. It's like he's going to get away with it because that's what like 1960s and 70s dads did. And so it's not about him. It's about Rudolph. So
it was an allegory for Rudolph just being gay, I think.
No, the dentist was gay.
He was definitely gay, yeah.
He was a little bit different. I mean, the fuck? What do you need to see here?
That foppish schlock of blonde hair, too. Yes, totally. Oh, man.
You know, I believe You've Got Mail is a Christmas movie, and Tom Hanks plays Joe Fox in that, and I think he is the best
reason
character.
Number 5,000.
I'll just round it all out here and bring us back to the beginning, in that what's the one? The one with Alan Rickman, the Christmas movie.
Die Hard.
No,
Love Actually.
Is an actual Christmas movie.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Just in case nobody noticed that. We made Michael Moynihan watch that on Thanksgiving a year and a half ago, and he still hasn't forgiven me.
Why would you even remotely recommend that to him?
Because I made Thanksgiving dinner and he was there, and I said, okay, now you have to watch this.
As I've said a million times, when you first watch Love Actually, you hate it. Second or third time, apathy, and then after a while, love. Actually, as far as the movie is concerned, and I'm in that category.
I love the movie. I love the movie too.
Well, you were an early adopter. Jesus. Well, guys, give us your plugs, your promotions, your prescription drugs. Oh God, we didn't even get to it, but Nancy just released a bit of her memoir with regards to New York in the 70s. Always one of my favorite topics. So check that out on Paloma Media right now. What else do you guys got?
Tell them about it.
I'll start. Follow me on Twitter, NANCYROMM, and go to palomamedia.com. We are putting up fresh content every day. And last week was New York Week. If you click the NYC sort of on the menu bar there, you'll come up on some incredible stories, including, if you go to books right now, Queens of Montague Street, that's a little memoir I wrote about being a teenager in New York City in the late 70s. And I narrated it for you guys. So listen, it's 45 minutes. You can take a walk and you can listen to all of my good behavior. So head over there.
Interesting time in New York.
Very little good behavior, but yeah.
In addition to that, on the Paloma Media thing, every time that we're on this program, thanks to the administrations of Busty Wimsett, this ends up showing up on Paloma Media.
So I love it. Well, tomorrow or the next day. And we're going to have something else this week from Scrooged, a little running commentary. It'll be later in the week.
Thanks.
So,
I promise it's far less long than the John Lennon one.
It is the internet's greatest site for Bill Schulz.
It is. And speaking of that, we might as well just say this on the air. I said to Matt, we should just give you like a little column, like on the site, like one of the regular columns. And I asked him, what should we call it? And what did you call it?
Was it just Schultz's Filth Bucket?
Yeah.
I think that
was it. So we thought we might want to have, but that was the first stab at a name. But you can come up with your own
back
name.
to the fart in a jar.
Oh, yeah. I did pitch the fart in the jar one. I did.
Makes it kind of aspirational. My stuff, at Matt Welch on Twitter. I'm at Reason. Go to at Reason or Reason.com everywhere. And I already mentioned the Fifth Column, so screw those guys.
Yeah, fuck them. Especially Moynihan not liking Love Actually. You're a monster, sir. You're a monster. Well, go ahead and ruin the show.
I get to go home and put myself on tape to be a narrator for a seizure medication.